Greetings out there in YouTube. And as always, I thank you guys coming to my channel. I'm going to entitle this, and before I tell you what I'm going to entitle this, because you're probably looking at it right now as you're watching this video, I try my best to keep it real and to be honest and just share information and opinions with you guys, because sometimes we are afraid to talk about stuff. You know, it's like the more we talk, the better we have an understanding of each other. Now, I'm not saying being disrespectful, being racist, being a bigot, or anything like that. I'm just saying people sit down and just express their opinions without deliberately trying to offend people. You know, it's like, this is how I feel. This is what's on my heart. Let's talk about this. Let's try to come to some kind of understanding of, you know, how you think, how I feel, how you feel. And I'm going to entitle this, and when I say this, you know, especially brothers, they're going to say, whoa, yeah. And it's sometimes true. And the name of the title of this is the reason why other people don't want to do business with us. You know who us is, you know. It's interesting, my neighbor next door, because I said to myself this year, I don't feel like cutting grass anymore. You know, I don't. You know, so I'm going to pay somebody to cut my grass. And I mean, you know, sorry about that. So I'm like, I'm taking the break off this summer. You know, I'm not doing this anymore. So my neighbor has a lawn curtain service guy that comes over. It's two guys. So when I seen those guys the other day, I ran across the street. I said, I'm interested in, you know, utilizing your service, you know, since you do a good job with my neighbors. And he's like, okay, great. I said, so how much is this going to cost me? And he told me first, within a 2-minute conversation, it went from $30 to $40 to $60. Because he said, let me go, before I could give you this quote, let me go and talk to my manager. So he went and jumped in the car. And son told me he's not even on the phone. This is just, he's walking, this, you know, trying to make it look like there's somebody that a higher chain of him, and he go basically on what they tell him to do. But he said, since I quoted you 30 today, we'll do 30 today. But it went again from 40 to 60. And they come every 2 weeks. I'm like, that's $120. You know, and I'm like, my line ain't that big for $60. You know, I'm like, more like 40. You know, 40 is cool. You know, but that's just my opinion. But, you know, I'm not in lawn care service, so I don't know the going rate. So that's just my opinion. So he cut the grass for 30. And he's going to come back in 2 weeks. And it's going to be twice as much, $60 a cut. So yesterday I seen my neighbor out there. So I went out there and I greeted him. I said, let me ask you a question. I said, because I said, now I'm utilizing your lawn care guys service. I said, how much do you pay him? If you don't mind me asking that, you know? And he said, no. He said, I paid him $25 a cut, $50 a month. I said, well, he want to charge me $60 a cut, $120 a month. I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. You know, this is not good business. And, you know, because I'm like, maybe they friends and he give him a friend discount. I can understand that, but I'm like, that's twice as much. He said, yeah, that's ridiculous. I said, it is ridiculous. And I'm like, this is why nobody wants to do business with us, because we trying to fuck people all the time. Instead of being honest and say, well, I charge him this, you know, but we friends or whatever, so his rate's a little cheaper than yours, but I'm going to charge you this, which should be not that much more than his. It's still twice as much. We got the same identical grass space because we on the corner. We got the same identical grass space. So I'm like, okay, man. So when that guy bring his ass back in 2 weeks, I'm going to tell him, I had a conversation with my neighbor, as if you don't think we going to talk. And I'm like, so you're going to try to jack me for $60, which is twice as much, actually a little bit more, you know, for him each cut. I'm like, we can do 30 or you can keep walking, you know, because I'm like, I'm not paying you $60 every cut, you know. So it's just ridiculous, because I'm like, come on, man. This is why nobody wants to do business with us, because we don't want to handle the business. You know, we want to shuck and jive and cheat each other. And because, again, I'm like, I live across the street from this dude. You don't think we talk? You know? Should I share this one? Because this one's kind of similar, too. I'll make a long story short. It was another guy when I lived in this other complex. He used the maintenance guy. So when I moved, I said, I want you to, you know, come over here and cut my grass. You know, I'll pay you. And but first the lawnmower has to be fixed. So he took the lawnmower up there, and then he told me to give him $20 to put a down payment on the lawnmower for the repair. So when it was time to pick up the lawnmower, he wasn't available, so I went to pick up the lawnmower myself. So the guy gave me the price for the repair. And then I said, okay, so that's minus $20 of the down payment. He's like, what down payment? I'm like, my guy came here and I gave him $20 to put down on down payment. He said, no, we don't take down payments. So in essence, my line guy tried to fuck me. He tried to steal $20. I'm like, dude, if you needed 20, just ask me. I would have gave it to you. What makes you think I wasn't going to figure this out or find this out when it was time for me to come pay? That $20 is not accounted for. So I had to fire him. I'm like, come on, man. You know, this is why nobody wants to do business with us, because of this kind of nonsense. Because I'm like, man, if you were hurting for $20, you just simply could have asked me, well, I'm a little short on 20, you know. I would have gave it to you instead of you stealing from me. And then you're stealing from me in a manner that I'm going to figure it out or find out eventually that you're stealing from me. You know, it's not like you come up in here and you see 20 on the counter, you steal it, and I'm like, well, I don't know who took it, you know, so I can't blame anybody. But this is a situation that, again, when I went to go pick my lawnmower up, I was going to figure this out. You know, it's like, so I guess you wasn't thinking, dude. You didn't thoroughly think this out. You know, but I'm like, you know, you done lost out on hundreds of dollars now because you decided you want to steal $20. I don't understand that. You know, but I hope that we get ourselves together so we can be in competition with other people and businesses because we provide a honest, reasonable price for our services. It's still twice as much from about the guy next door, or twice as much than the guy next door, and then the other guy still in 20s. You know. But until next time, take care, and thanks for watching. We need to get our act together. We really do, you know.